Lovely. Ellie and Joe and the bigger brother team go through. Tip-top crash out. Next up, Tetanus and Onslaught.
From Richard's Castle, Tetanus.
A wedge-shaped robot with large crusher, immobilising spikes and flipper lift are also used as a self-riding mechanism. The crusher uses a 1-ton ram and the lift can hoist a camper van.
From Queen's Park, Onslaught.
Car-type steering, single-drive motor, front suspension, spikes to rear, a 140-kilo lift ramming wedge, the fastest in the heat at 20 miles an hour.
Roboteers, stand by.
Tetanus machine of Paul Snook, dad of Conrad, uncle to Luke, Angel. An Onslaught we've seen before, Alan Wood, dad to David and brother-in-law to Mark Holland. In the arena for the house robot, Sergeant Bash is lick of flame once again. And if the flame doesn't lick you, Shunt will bash you, chop you, scoop you to oblivion.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Tetanus just the heavier. Onslaught very quick around the arena. Always has been heat finalist in Series 2, second round in Series 3, had mechanical faults in Series 4, came back in one of our Annihilators though and did well. Now it needs to avoid the flipping spikes of Tetanus, that horrible Tetanus jab. In it goes again, Tetanus. Ooh, look at that front of Tetanus with the spike for immobilization. And in underneath Onslaught, trying to lift it, to prong it. Onslaught needs to right itself and speed away. Using its own lifting flipper there, Onslaught, and they can't right themselves. And they're in trouble here, Onslaught, because Tetanus turned them turly on and are preventing them from self-righting. You can feel for Onslaught and David Wood, the 18-year-old driver, just can't get out of the clutches of Tetanus. Paul Snook, a musician by trade and on song and in tune here with Tetanus. But as they turn, they're very nearly turning into the CPZ. Here we've just seen Tetanus. They need to get away from trouble. Those are the controls, because if you go into a CPZY, you can be tagged by the house robots. The Onslaught team look worried. They cannot right themselves.
Onto the flame. Onto the grill. Push him onto the flame.
You can hear there the frantic instructions. Push them onto the grill. Get them torched. Tetanus moving forward at a very sluggish gait. Have they now stopped? The ref bot is in there and about to count. I think Onslaught will be counted out because we've seen no movement whatsoever from the Onslaught team. Alan and David Wood at the controls and the ref bot is counting them down. And they are gripped in a ghastly dance of death, these two. Which machine was immobilised first? It'll go to the judges. Let's have a look at the highlights. Onslaught on the attack there and trying to topple Tetanus, but then Tetanus got hold of Onslaught, turned it over and pinned it against the arena walls. Onslaught tried to get out, but every time they tried to self-right, Tetanus guarded that movement. Good driving by the Tetanus team. Onslaught trying to right itself. In comes Tetanus again, you see. All good point scoring. But in the end, which one was left in fighting mode?
Well, the judges have made a decision, and for once, I agree with them. The winners are Tetanus!
Guys,
He put you on your back, and you're on your back for most of the battle. You couldn't seem to get back over.
We tried to self-right once, and it did come over, but it came over not very square and sort of fell back all twisted. And then he more or less kept on top of us.
It was like a tortoise, really, wasn't it? trying to get out of it. Onslaught slaughtered.
He was.
The thing is, tetanus injections are supposed to, stop you getting lockjaw. It gave you lockjaw.
Certainly did. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it though?
Certainly did. Yeah.
And you're always good for a laugh, you Onslaught boys. I'm sure you'll be back, won't you?
Back with something different.
Something different this time.
Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Onslaught. Well, one of the perils of the arena floor is that jet of CO2.
Yeah.
And you're on top of it. It came right up and completely immobilised you.
Yep.
But you'd done enough to win that battle, hadn't you?
Yeah.
We weren't sure.
Well,
You'd put him on his back, and he just couldn't get back over. And you were then trying to barbecue him, weren't you? You were trying to push him towards the flames. And of course, you were over the jet of CO2.
yeah.
Joel, what do you think that's done to the robot?
Well, I don't know. There's a hole about 5 inches diameter on the bottom of the robot, which has a caster in it, and no doubt the CO2's gone into that. And well, I don't know what it does to it, but it seems to have coated everything, probably the speed controller, inside the robot itself. So
Is that going to be a bind to fix, or?
it's very, very simple machine. It's tractor technology. It's
Tractor technology. All right then, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Tetanus boys!
So it's Tetanus through. Goodbye to Onslaught. Next up, 3 stakes to heaven against 11.